First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening and welcome to First at 5 from WUFT News. I'm Kennedy Mason.
And I'm Julianna Reichenbach. Thank you for joining us.
Valentine's Day is just one day away and our state is getting ready to celebrate in its own ways. Down in Miami, the world's tallest digital Happy Valentine's Day greeting will be lighting up the South Florida skyline now through tomorrow. And Julianna, get this, if it's stacked vertically, the display is as tall as 2.5 football fields.
Wow, that's crazy, and we don't have anything quite like that in Gainesville, but businesses around town are getting ready to celebrate too. Chocolate is of course a popular gift, and one local chocolatier is gearing up for the store's biggest day. Nationwide, Americans purchase around 58 million pounds of chocolate each Valentine's Day. Here in Gainesville, customers flock to Thornbrook chocolates to satisfy cocoa cravings and to prepare for the sweetest day of the year. Today, February the 13th, is typically shop's busiest day of the year. With consistent foot traffic, this year appeared to be no different. But chocolate isn't the only popular gift on Valentine's Day, Kennedy.
No. Flowers. Roses are the most popular Valentine's Day flower, with almost 10 million sold each year. They're also the most popular choice in local shops, many of which spent the day building bouquets for one of the busiest times of the year. On Valentine's Day, Crevice's florist delivers about 180 flower deliveries. It's the busiest single day the family-owned business has each year. They start preparing right after Christmas, ordering extra red roses and stocking up on stuffed bears. And since 1946, they've been helping Gainesville residents say I love you. With the pandemic, location changes, and now inflation, it hasn't been all hugs and kisses. But even with rising prices due to nationwide inflation, the woman-owned and operated team did not increase prices for their customers.
Well, it's usually super stressful, but it's happy because it's one of our biggest holidays of the year. Yeah. So we know we're making money, and so that's a happy thought. Yeah.
Crevice's shop bustled with customers today, but stress aside, the season of love prevails.
Kennedy, with all the flowers and perfume I'm going to be receiving tomorrow, I know my allergies are going to be acting up.
I know, right? It's so
kind of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. I have been using my Zyrtec recently. My allergies going crazy. Okay. So what else is going to be in the air besides love tomorrow, Daniella?
So I'm sorry, ladies. I do have some bad news for you and those at home. We are going to be struggling with our pollen and allergies this Valentine's Day. Let's take a look at what we can expect. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're peaking for grass and tree allergies, and later into the weekend, it is for ragweed. So it's going to be nothing but sniffles and snuggles this Valentine's Day. If you are heading out on the town tonight for a little pre-Valentine's Day celebration, I do suggest that you pack a cute sweater to accessorize with your outfit because you really are going to need it. Starting out your night at 55, but dropping all the way down to 43. But hey, when it's cold, it's time for a good snuggle. Back to you.
Thanks, Daniella. Here in Alachua County, people are trying to think through the idea of building a meat processing plant. County Commission Chair Anna Pariza just sent out a lengthy email explaining why she likes the idea.
I think that the commission has a standing goal of doing a better job of communicating, doing outreach, and connecting with the public for input on our projects.
A modern meat processing plant could cost more than $5 million to build. WFT News has received emails indicating members of the public will comment on this issue tomorrow at the commission meeting. It's unclear where the rest of the commission stands.
A daycare in Miami is under fire after a racially offensive incident. A teacher trying to celebrate Black History Month had her young children wear blackface. WSVN's Jessica Hawley shows us the parents' outrage.
And I'm like, oh my God, all the children in the class painted with blackface.
We've blurred their little faces, but through the blur, you can still see the black.
And I was like, there's no way this is real. I was like, this can't be real.
Courtney Politis received these pictures last Friday from another parent.
And she told me that they painted everyone's face in blackface and said Happy Black History Month.
The pictures taken inside Studio Kids Little River Daycare on Northeast 1st Avenue in Miami. Politis says her children stayed home that day, but the other kids dressed up to represent different professions. These two appear to be a construction worker and a police officer. both of their faces painted black.
And then, of course, the anger and just disbelief and like the heartbreak that comes from all of this. And I immediately text the owner. I'm like, this is racist. And her first response is, I'm sorry, ?
The director of the daycare sending a message to parents the same day explaining, we have not intended to offend anyone and we are very sorry about any inconvenience. Monday, she let the parents know that she met with teachers and staff and went over several ethical and multicultural education points. She closed with an apology and this, rest assured this will never happen again.
The kid's been violated and they don't even know it.
Politis has pulled her kids from the daycare. She says she simply doesn't feel comfortable sending them back, knowing someone at this facility thought this was an appropriate way to celebrate Black history.
Just blackface. I mean, we've done more to this society than being black. Like, it's blatant and pure ignorance, or you just did it on purpose and you're playing stupid, in my opinion.
Reporters reached out to the daycare for comment, but so far they have not spoken to the media about the incident.
Meanwhile, the College Board is calling out Florida officials. It's over the state's recent ban of a new high school advanced placement African American Studies course. The board, which created the AP course, admitted in a statement it made mistakes in the rollout of the course, but said the dialogue over the issue has moved from healthy debate to misinformation. The College Board also said they should have immediately denounced what they called the Florida Department of Education slander, that the course lacks educational value. The board said claims that they were in frequent dialogue with Florida about the content of AP African American Studies were false and politically motivated. Florida officials last month objected to some of the authors and topics, including Black queer studies and Black feminism, that were initially part of the course. Those authors and topics were not included when in the official framework released this month. The board also denied the claims the course was influenced by political pressure.
In other education news, a group of young scientists from a local high school are getting ready to compete on a national level.
And we've got other science news too. With a milestone launch out of Cape Canaveral, those students would love to witness.
But first, I've got the story of how middle school students presented their award-winning project focusing on climate change to Oak Hammock residents. Don't go away. That's what we have up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. Today, I attended the Trash Formations art exhibit at Oak Hammock, where St. Patrick Inter-Parish School students displayed their projects motivated by climate change. And I was so impressed by all of their projects. Students at St. Patrick Inter-Parish School are learning how to reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Middle schoolers were challenged by their science teacher, Jenny Jordan, to create a project using 70% discarded and reused material. 18 middle schoolers won the competition, 3 from each class. The 18 students took their projects to Oak Hammock, where residents voted on their favorites. 8th grader Will Bosco was one of the 18. He has a love for roller coasters, which is what inspired his project, The Carnival.
And I wanted to do this just because I really love roller coasters. I used to be scared of them, and once I rode one, I loved it. It just made me love them so much, and I wanted to do it a lot.
Cardboard, kebab sticks, and popsicle sticks were used to make his creation. Mrs. Jordan and some famous people are also included on his project.
Tom Hiddleston in there, Robert Downey Jr.
While Will had fun with his project, he also learned a lot.
Very important to recycle, because if you don't, trash is going to build up. Like somebody said, the amount of trash we have could fill up Rhode Island.
While students have been learning about a clean environment, so have Oak Hammock residents. Oak Hammock and the Institute for Learning and Retirement hosted a course, Climate Conversation, led by Ellen Siegel. Residents who are engaged in lifelong learning were educated on climate change during the course. Elliot Simon said he learned that we have a problem.
The Earth is heating up extremely quickly, and we have to do something.
Using their knowledge and their eyes, residents chose a winner, and Will's Carnival won first place. The Dress Project won second place, and the Cobra won third. All of the winners received special certificates.
A team from Alachua County Public Schools has earned a spot in the National Science Bowl. 5 students from Beholds High School, Fun fact, that's my alma mater, Go Bobcats, took first place in the North Central Florida Regional Science Bowl. It covers 52 of the state's 67 school districts, and it's the 8th straight year that a Alachua County school earned a national spot. The U.S. Department of Energy will now cover the team's travel to Washington, D.C. in April.
Detectives working on a cold case in Flagler County have new leads thanks to new technology. A young woman's remains were found 30 years ago, but she still hasn't been identified. WJXT's Khalil Maycock reports that the few things detectives thought they knew about the woman were wrong.
If that was my loved one, I'd want to know, what happened to them.
It's a constant thought Sarah Scalia has when doing her job. She's a cold case detective with the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. The case that currently has her attention is the one of an unidentified woman whose remains were found by a child on Sea Ship Place in 1993.
The ball went out in the woods and my son went out there to get it, and that's when he saw the decomposed body.
Clarence Murphy says his son was 12 then. He's 42 now. Murphy says he remembers that day and his son's reaction.
He come out of there like pretty fast. He had a lot of fear in him. He was real scared.
Back then, forensic anthropologists from the University of Florida and the medical examiner's office tested the remains. This is a picture of what they thought the unknown woman looked like back then. They said she was white, possible Native American descent. Been dead for 2 to 3 years. She was between 25 and 35 years old and 5'3". Based off new tests done by DNA laboratory Orthram in the last 2 years, this is what they believe she looks like now, a woman of African American descent.
How does that help the case move forward?
It helps the case because maybe back then we were looking at different missing persons cases for Caucasian, Native American females, and that wasn't actually correct.
Scalia says through new DNA test and genealogy research, they have determined the unknown woman is from the South Carolina area and has around 30 relatives. But still, there is no name or identification of why she was in Florida or what happened to her, which is why Scalia is working countless hours to solve this case.
Number one, the unidentified people, they deserve to have a name and a face, but the families, the friends, the victims, they deserve justice. And they deserve to have answers of what happened to them.
Detective Scalia is asking anyone with information about this case to come forward and contact the Flagler County Sheriff's Office.
SpaceX launched another batch of Starlink satellites into orbit.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 5-4.
A Falcon 9 rocket topped with 55 Starlink internet satellites lifted off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida just after 12 a.m. Sunday. The Falcon 9's first stage returned to Earth 8.5 minutes after liftoff, touching down on the SpaceX drone ship, a shortfall of Gravitas, in the Atlantic Ocean. SpaceX later confirmed all 55 satellites successfully deployed a little over an hour after liftoff. This was the company's 10th mission of the year and the 12th launch and landing for this particular booster. This sets the private company closer to its goal of 100 launches this year. I know how hard it is to launch rockets when the weather isn't just right.
Yeah, and rockets are certainly in the air, but love is too.
That's Daniella. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day and it's looking perfectly rosy. Cupid's arrow may hit you once you see the forecast. Temperatures continue to climb this week. I'll let you know when the 80s are coming in a few minutes.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
So Valentine's Day is a really busy day for all of us apparently. The atmosphere has rockets, pollen, and love. So bringing it back down to earth, I'm going to help you to realize what we're doing this week in the world of weather. So obviously Valentine's Day is on everyone's mind, and lucky for all of us, it is pretty as roses. But as we mentioned, you are going to be having those sniffles and snuggles this Valentine's Day, today and tomorrow. Medium high for those peaks of pollen, but it is peaking its highest on Wednesday. So just keep that in mind. As you saw in my tease, we have this high pressure system that is moving across the nation, bringing in that beautiful, clear and stable weather for the remainder of your Valentine's Day. Taking a look at our campus cam, you can see right now it is absolutely beautiful outside. We have these beautiful clear skies. It's 70 right now. There's not really any wind, and this trend is going to continue into tomorrow, so you have nothing to worry about for your Valentine's Day. But if you are traveling to see that special someone and make their day, let's take a look at what the temperatures are doing across the nation. In those high to mid 60s across the board, but here in the Sunshine State, we are famous for our beautiful weather, and Valentine's Day is going to be no different. Take a look at our hour by hour for the rest of the evening. Starting out your evening at 53, but as I said, it is dipping well into those low 40s, almost into the 30s, so definitely pack that cute sweater if you are going out tonight. Taking a look at our Tuesday morning, Valentine morning highs. The sun is rising at 7:10, so if you're planning on a beautiful sunrise at the beach, it's going to be 46 St. Augustine, 48 in Daytona. Coming back locally to Gainesville, 38, it is crisp, but it's in those high 30s and 40s for the remainder of the morning. If you are heading out on campus, let's take a look at what it is doing. At 8 a.m., we're snuggling up at 40 degrees, 12 p.m., lovers in the air at 67, and around 4 p.m., warming up nicely for that beautiful picnic outside. We are feeling love struck at 74. Take a look at our future radar. As you can see on the map, the clock is ticking, but there's nothing happening. This is just a good reminder so that you can 100% be sure that the weather will not impact your Valentine's Day plans whatsoever. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful one. Back to you.
It was a great weekend for Gators on the gridiron, not so for Gators on the hardwood. Gator men's basketball fell flat to Vanderbilt Saturday, dropping their third game in a row, 88-80. The three ball was the difference as Florida went just 2 for 20 from beyond the arc, while the Commodores shot 52% from three. Head coach Todd Golden said the issues from deep are something his team must focus on.
We were really bad at executing the things that are really important to our team, to our program, and a huge part of that was our inability to defend the three-point line today. And that's something that, as long as I'm the coach here, is going to be a huge emphasis of our program.
If the Gators want a shot at an NCAA tournament bid, they'll have to stop this kid Wednesday when they host Ole Miss at 6:30 p.m. Yeah, but it wasn't much better on the women's side this weekend as the Gators were trounced by Georgia 81-55 on the road. The Bulldogs came out to an early 21-8 lead and held on throughout, cruising to the blowout win. The third consecutive loss drops the Gators to 14-11 on the year and 3-9 in the SEC. It doesn't get any easier for Florida. Next up is a trip to Columbia to face the #1 team in the nation, the undefeated South Carolina Gamecocks, Thursday at 7 p.m. Florida Gator lacrosse kicked off a new season with an opening day win. Hey man, the 5th-ranked Gators handled the 17th-ranked Mighty Wolverines of Michigan 17-8 to start the year 1-0. The Gators were lifted by a dominant second half in which they outscored Michigan 11-4. Sophomore Emilo Pinto led the Gators with 4 goals and 3 assists, scoring a goal in each quarter. Lopinto hit a milestone 100 career points with the big day. Mark your calendars, folks, because next up for the Gators is a tough test in Chapel Hill against the top-ranked defending champion UNC Tar Heels, Saturday at noon on ESPN+. Gator Gymnastics' remarkable season continues to power on through. Another Friday night, another big win for Florida. The 2nd-ranked Gators had no trouble with number 15 Missouri star Trinity Thomas once again shined. For the 24th time in her illustrious 5-year career at Florida, Thomas scored a perfect 10, this time on the beam. Freshman Kayla DeCello also joined the fray, scoring the first 10 of her career, hitting perfection on the bars. Next on the docket is a trip to Baton Rouge to face LSU next Friday.
Thanks, Will. Finally staying active, a Gainesville dance group is sliding, shuffling, and swaying with a purpose this month and every month. Smooth Flava Dance Gainesville is a dance group that benefits STEM summer camps for local students. It invites guests of all ages to line dance in Bo Diddley Plaza. The group hosts free dance parties once a month in downtown Gainesville, hoping to widen its diverse community of dancers. The gathering held this Sunday, the 2nd Sunday of Black History Month, was particularly special. Lead instructor Wanda Lloyd, a local elementary school teacher, says African American contributions to art are sometimes silenced but deserve to be celebrated year-round. She wants to open that celebration of art to everyone, from smooth lava regulars to curious passerbys who hear the invitation to do the Cupid Shuffle.
So everybody's invited, no matter how young, no matter how old, girl, boy, no matter your race, we invite everyone. So teaching is a passion, but dance has become my second passion, actually.
The next Bo Diddley Dance Party, which Smooth Flava expects to attract 75 to 100 guests, will take place March 19th. Smooth Flava dancers remind newcomers, if you're smiling, you're doing it right.
I love that. And it definitely was a beautiful day to dance yesterday.
Before we go, Daniella, can you give us one last look at the weather for the next few days?
Of course we can. The high pressure system is overhead. It's going to be remaining there for a few days. But as I said, if you are celebrating Valentine's a little early tonight, taking one last look at what the town is doing. Jumping to our 6-day outlook.
Thanks, Daniella. BBC World News is next, and PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WFT.org. Have a good night.